In the Saw franchise, there are many traps and rooms designed to kill whatever poor inhabitant wound up inside. One of these individuals would go on to be Saw's biggest influencer besides John Kramer himself. Fallout 4 is the latest single-player entry in the franchise, and as such, many changes were made. And while we do not have access to reverse bear traps, we do have access to pistols and frag mines. So with that in mind, can you beat Fallout 4 as Amanda Young? The answer to this question is yes. Of course you can beat Fallout 4 with pistols, mines, and grenades, but how annoying is it? This is what we will be finding out. I started off with my looks, which I tried my best to make look like Amanda, but gave up halfway through. I then looked at my ugly kid, watched a Vault-Tec rep walk up to my house, and assigned my special. I went with a pretty light-handed build, mainly because I thought I would be doing this game as the pig at first. You'll see how annoying this turns out to be. Always plan ahead, folks. I typed my name, talked to Nate, and got the bad news. A good wife would stay with her family in times of strife. Not me. I was the first one out the door. After not being able to run in the Michael Myers playthrough, sprinting was a godsend. I made it to the platform, watched the nuke drop in the wrong spot on the map, and was sent down just before it hit. In the vault, I muscled my way past Mr. Russell, collected my jumpsuit, and was led to a decontamination chamber. I put on the suit, stepped inside, and wait, this isn't decontamination, it's cryogenics! Never trust Vault-Tec. I woke up, watched Nate get folded, went back to sleep, and woke up again. I grabbed a ring, and it was at this point in the playthrough I thought I was doing a knife only run, so I had to not attack any of the rad roaches. I got bullied by some, turned the difficulty down, got bullied by some more, and eventually made it to the Pit-Boy, or at least the mod I have installed for it. Take notes everyone, this is how physics work. I pressed the hell out of that button, was mesmerized by how cool the animation of the door opening was, and left to go to the surface. I then ran home, talked to Codsworth, and watched him kill all the bugs. I then left, ignored Dogmeat, and made my way to the Concord Speakeasy. I picked up what I thought would be my weapon for the entire game, left, and made my way to Trudy's Diner. I was folded like Nate was and decided on another approach. I popped back into Sanctuary, put the special book into Strength for absolutely no reason at all, and put my level up in the big leagues, because, again, I thought I'd be using only a knife. I took this Dead Raiders outfit, got dressed, and snuck past some ghouls. I then ran, tried to sneak up on the raider who was crying like a bitch over his girlfriend, and put him in the grave so they could reunite. I stumbled across the Cambridge police station, helped Dance kill some ghouls, and spoke to him about joining. I then ran, sprinted, ran some more, and made it to Diamond City. I ignored Piper because couldn't care less, and went inside. I entered Valentine's detective agency, spoke to Ellie, and was off to save Nick from certain doom. On the way out, I saw a synth holdup, stood in front of the guy and watched a bullet go through me anyway, and left to continue my mission. At this point in the playthrough, I decided to use pistols along with my knife because Amanda Young used a pistol in one of the movies one time, and the fact that a knife-only Fallout 4 playthrough is a headache. Don't judge me. I got to the station and began laying waste to the triggerman. After running, gunning, and missing my shots, I made it to Dino. I tried to do a sneak attack, but it was akin to throwing a frozen pea at his head, so I took the fight to him. I riddled his body with bullets, opened the door, snatched up the bobblehead, and talked to Nick. We made it to Skinny Malone, and I finally put my sneak skill to the test when I crouched behind him and chucked grenades. None of them ever stood a chance. I then left Nick behind, got a minute and 36-second loading screen, and told Nick I would meet him in Diamond City. I got there, told him about my stupid problems because this game's plot is stupid, and left for Kellogg's house. I watched the high-tech robot fail at picking a lock, bribed the Geneva Convention with 250 caps, jumped up and down on an elevator, and unlocked the door. I revealed his secret lair, stole his cigars and everything that he had, watched Nick whistle for Dogmeat, and questioned how Dogmeat got from Red Rocket Truck Stop to Diamond City in 3 seconds. I then told Nick to buzz off, showed Dogmeat the air in my palm, and left to Fort Hagen because I'll be damned if I'm following Bethesda's terrible AI pathing for the next 20 minutes. I arrived at Red Rocket next to the fort, waited for Dogmeat to show up, and ran past the turrets to get inside. I got lost as I ran past all the scents. The game tried to make me care about Dogmeat, but I already have 2 dogs in real life, thanks. I unloaded my magazine on 2 cents down the hall, told Dogmeat to skedaddle, and entered the Resident Evil ass safe room. I went through my inventory for no reason whatsoever, laid down some mines, and didn't explode Kellogg like I had hoped. He tried using a stealth boy, but unfortunately for him, many matches of losing to an invisible Spectre in Black Ops 3 has trained me for this moment, and after some riddling, he died. I took everything on his person, viewed the stupid access logs, and left to talk to Nick. I got back to the agency, saw Piper being a filthy snoop as always, and told Nick what I found. I was then off to Good Neighbor to talk to Dr. Amari. I entered Good Neighbor, iced Finn before he even took a breath, and rampaged my way to the memory den. I took all of Amari's medical supplies right in front of her, had a short conversation, and was ready to enter some memories. After fulfilling my dream of becoming a memory walker, I found out the top secret info and left to find Virgil. I sprinted, ran, sprinted some more, took a pop shot at the Deathclaw, and entered the cave before he could retaliate like the pansy I am. I talked to the big green guy and was off to kill a courser. I traveled to Fraternal Post 115 and ran directly to Green Tech Genetics, cutting out the whole tuning part of this quest. I dealt with the gunners inside, laid down some mines which exploded because the bastard decided to walk this way as I was doing it, and ended the courser's life. I took the chip, became fused and killed the hostages, freed Jenny, and it was back to Good Neighbor to talk to Amari. She told me she was useless and I was off to find the railroad. I entered the church, entered the super secret pass, forget it, it's railroad, and was confronted by Desdemona. I gave the chip to Tom, listened to him spew complete hacking nonsense, and made a mental note to come back for Glory's outfit later. I got another 1-minute loading screen, returned to Virgil, and got the plans. I then popped back at the police station, talked to Dance, and we were on our way to the ArcJet systems. I shot a truck because it looked at me wrong, helped Dance end some dogs, and we arrived. Dance told me about his brethren. We killed some, I cooked them alive, and we got the deep range transmitter. I told Dance I joined the Brotherhood, met him at the station, and off to the giant blimp we went. I think I was AFK on this flight over there, can't remember. We boarded, and I was belittled by Lance Knight Kells. I then attended Squire Maxon's speech, met everyone on board, and got my first assignment. I was to wipe out the super mutants at Fort Strong. So I headed there on foot because if you board the Vertibird, the game forces you to use the minigun, and last I checked, Amanda Young doesn't use miniguns. I took out the Behemoth's children, and then spent the next 2 minutes of my life I won't get back taking out Daddy himself. After some time, he finally fell before me. I cleared out everyone inside, threw a grenade and got a multi-kill, and took this broken T-45 power armor out of its 200-year timeout. That's better. I then told Maxon I could get into the Institute, built the platforms, and was teleported inside. I scanned the network, talked to my stupid robot son, talked to my stupid real son, and talked to Madison Nee, who for some reason is such a bitch in this game. She sent me to the FEV labs to find proof of Virgil's death. I broke in and wasted 3.5 minutes trying to hack this terminal. Let me tell you, this was really annoying because it made me look like a dunce, and I knew I'd leave it in the video anyway. I eventually hacked it, killed the hell out of this Assaultron, got the holotape, and picked up the serum. I then presented the evidence to Dr. Lee and got her to rejoin the Brotherhood. I told Maxon the good news, gave Ingram the holotape, and saw Liberty Prime for the first time since the last time I played Fallout 4. I was then tasked to talk to Dr. Lee, witness that amazing Bethesda writing in action, and was off to get the high-powered magnet. I got a shock when this head-ass Protectron opened the door, grabbed the magnet, and built 4 of them because Liberty Prime has 4 limbs or something, I don't know. I was then sent out to the Sentinel site, talked to Halen, returned to Virgil, and gave him the serum because I'm a good person. I gave that Deathclaw from earlier a closed casket funeral, killed like 2 ghouls, barely killed Adam's Wrath and her pet human, and marked the nukes for pickup. I then talked to Ingram, pushed the red button because I'm 4 years old and like pushing things, and listened to Liberty Prime say he was ready but not ready. I then was told Maxon had a bone to pick with me, got yelled at, and was sent to kill Dance. I talked to Halen, arrived at Listening Post Bravo, fought his Protectrons, and laid him to rest for the crime of not knowing what he was. I then reported back to Maxon, reported to Kells, and appeared at the church to end the railroad. I oofed Carrington, killed some nameless nobodies, killed the Big G, Sunny D, the Lone Wanderer if you believe that theory, Hacker Man, and Bongo Lad. I then got dressed, reprogrammed Pam, noticed how much taller she was than me, and returned to Kells. I then talked to Ingram, and we were off to get the beryllium agitator. I couldn't shoot because minigun, we landed, killed Sense, went down the elevator, killed more Sense, and went down another elevator because why not? I failed at placing a mine, reloaded a save, placed it correctly, and another. I then grabbed a conveniently placed hazmat suit, grabbed a calcium troublemaker, and dealt with a sentry bot. I then saw the two most dedicated kill bots, ruined them, ruined a Protectron, and left with Ingram. I spoke with her, installed LP's new battery, pressed the button again, and watched Prime come back to life after 10 years. I fast traveled to the CIT ruins because I'm not gonna have Fallout 3 show its ugly head, watched Prime approach, watched him open a hole in the ground, and entered said hole. I got the charge from Maxon, wasted everything in my path including the gorillas, and was told the access terminal is in Father's office. I headed there, avoided an awkward conversation with my son, ended the mandatory lockdown, and killed more Sense on the way out. We got to the reactor chamber, I let Maxon clean house, planted the bomb, and was teleported out of there. I told RoboShine he could come with, I was teleported out of there for real this time. I pressed the shiny red button and watched the explosion, and as I shot Maxon in the night behind him, I beat Fallout 4 as Amanda Young. Never again.